Oh, hey, Tricky. Close talker. Two of them, got one over there. Big boy Bolt came running in behind me, had to move a little bit. Well, here's our baby Big Red. Well, he's not Big Red anymore. Hey everyone, welcome back to the farm. It's Brad with Batchelder Family Farms, out here with the cows starting out today. We've got some important things to talk about with the cows, what their near future looks like. We're gonna go check on the bison, see what the next steps will be for them. And we got a few other chores to do today. So let's go see what all we can get done on the farm. As always, got my trusty farm dog Bella with me. She's comes every time I get in the tractor, the Ranger, the truck. She's always right there with me. If I don't put her in, she follows me out. The cows chase her, so I usually put her in the truck, or if I'm in the tractor, she rides around in the tractor with me. She's such a great farm dog. Hey, if you haven't yet, go ahead and do us a favor and go ahead and subscribe to our channel. We'd really appreciate that. If you enjoyed the video at the end, give us a thumbs up, and we hope you stick around today. As always, got my trusty farm dog Bella with me. She's comes every time I get in the tractor, the Ranger, the truck. She's always right there with me. If I don't put her in, she follows me out. The cows chase her, so I usually put her in the truck, or if I'm in the tractor, she rides around in the tractor with me. She's such a great farm dog. Hey, if you haven't yet, go ahead and do us a favor and go ahead and subscribe to our channel. We'd really appreciate that. If you enjoyed the video at the end, give us a thumbs up. Don't know if you can hear in the background, the cows just fed them a couple tubs of spent grains. So these tubs of spent grains are about 225 pound. It's like a 225 pound protein tub. And within minutes, they devour it. Got two of them, got one over there. Big boy Bolt came running in behind me, had to move a little bit. So a couple times this year, we've shot our cows with a vet gun to treat them for flies. But flies are back, and they're a big problem right now. The weather is fairly cool. It's mid upper 80s most days. It's 90 a couple days, but the temperature has dropped compared to what it was a few weeks ago. But we're still not getting any rain. That extra rain will help the cows, will keep the flies, give them some relief from the flies, and they're just not getting it right now. So we've been holding off on treating them again with the vet gun, because whenever we work the cows, we'll actually put Poron on them, and that'll help with flies, lice, worms, all that kind of stuff, and we don't want to over-treat them. Here's a few of our calves this year. We've got a great calf crop. We're just over 32, or just at 32 calves right now. Look at this little guy, just covered in flies. Poor guy. And when we do the vet gun, we don't do the calves. First off, the animal has to be at least 500 pounds. They will get a little bit of Poron, but when you treat the adults, that really helps with the fly situation. Sorry, I keep looking down, walking through here, and I'm making sure I miss all the cow bombs, the cow patty bombs. Okay, so if you followed our channel before, we're a small family farm just south of Kansas City, Missouri. We started out raising beef cattle. Now we have bison, pigs. We have about every animal under the sun, it feels like. Most of them are pets, but we do raise beef cattle and bison, and some pork to raise to sell in our store, on our farm, the farmers markets, online, all of that. But if you have followed us before, we used to have a corral out here. It wasn't clearly a permanent corral. It was made of freestanding panels, but with the bison and the new fence, we moved all of it, but our head gate's still out here. So the future of the cows, look at our nice full pond that we just had dug out this year. Very excited about that. Haven't done anything. I was going to try to section it off, keep the cows off of it, but it helps them, again, with the fly control, stay cool. So for right now, I'm leaving it. What I would really like to do is put rocks around it to help keep them out and only give them one access point. But anyway, with the cows, what we're going to do is take those freestanding panels now that all the bison pen is done, and we're going to make a new corral up by the house that we're going to be able to work the cows. So what do I mean by work the cows? So working the cows is we get them all in the head gate, bulls, cows, calves, and ear tag ones that haven't been ear tagged. If they're bulls, we typically ban them to make them steers, and just check them. We've got a couple that we need to check their hooves. One of them we definitely gonna have to trim her hoof. So we do all of that maintenance on them, and we do that twice a year. We do it usually in May, and then mid to late September, early October, which the second one is also typically weaning time. So any calf that is big enough, 6 months old, typically around there, 5 to 7 months old, and we'll wean them off their moms to give their moms a break. Oh, we've got our Princess Poppy came here to visit us. Hey, girl. If you don't know Poppy, she was a bottle calf. She is 4 years old now. Found her in the pasture one day, covered in mud. Picked her up, brought her inside, cleaned her off, gave her some colostrum, brought her back out. Nobody would take her, so we've raised her from a bottle calf, and she's had her second calf this year. No, I'm sorry. She's 5 now. She had her third calf this year. Whew, it goes fast. So, but she's a sweetheart. She's the first one to shake the bag of cubes. She comes running, everybody else follows her. But working the cows, we'll wean the calves and make sure everybody's nice and healthy. And then we'll pull the cows, put them back in the pasture, leave the calves in the corral, feed them hay, feed them protein, minerals, all that kind of stuff, and let their moms recover. And I don't know if you're going to be able to tell or not, but we have, so we usually start calving in February, late February, early March, and we have quite a few moms. Number 30 right here. This one would be 34, doesn't have her ear tag. Number 8, Francine. All of these cows are bred back, so that means they're nursing a calf right now, and they have a calf on the way. To help give them a little bit of a break, we get the calves off of them when the calves are big enough to be on their own, and all the steers we hold back, and those become our butcher calves that we sell, quarters, halves, wholes, cuts in the store. And then the heifers, we either retain, take them to another farm till they're ready to breed back, sell them. We have a few other cattle farmers that buy a lot of our heifers from us, or we'll take them to the sale barn and sell them that way. So quick update on the cows, but they are looking great. Their bodies are looking really good. We'd like to get flies under control, and then we've got to get the corral set up to get them worked. But otherwise, they're doing really well. These are the freestanding panels. Right now we have all the bison moved. I'll show you that pen and where they're at here in just a second. But we put this up early in the spring, maybe April, I think. And this is where the bison were for most of the summer. And now that we've got the other pen ready, I'm gonna take this down. This will become our, these panels will move in. That will become our corral for the cows, which we'll bring the cows across the creek. We'll bring them over to this area on the other side of the truck. We'll make the corral over there, and that's where we'll work them. We'll wean the calves. But then the next step is here along the creek. We are going to put up barbed wire fence, and then that way the bison can come back over and be here for some of the early winter and let this grass regrow a little bit. But these are the panels, these freestanding panels. They work really great, especially for cattle in the corral, and we haven't had any issues with it. Back up here by the barn, this is Darth and Doris's new pen. If you watched our last video, these were the freestanding panels. Oh, hey, Tricky. Close talker. These were all the freestanding panels that were in the pasture on the other side with the bison. Again, bison. We'll go over that in just a minute. But Jen and I moved all of these into place and got Darth and Doris up here out of the other pen they were in, mainly because Doris kept tearing up the fence. She's got these big long horns. If you haven't seen her yet, you'll see her in a minute. And she kept tearing up the fence. She would jump over the boards. It was her old goat pen, and she's just a big pain sometimes. But got them moved up here, and it's actually been really good. Doris can still get her head and horns under these bottom rails here. I don't know how she does it or why she does it, but she does. Gonna take this last thing of spent grains, I'm gonna put it in their pen so they can enjoy it and get some extra protein. And here they are. So Darth, both of these are Highland crosses. Darth is a Dexter Highland cross, he's our bull. And Doris is clearly a Longhorn Highland cross. And this is their baby Royal. She's a heifer born early in the summer. And she's gonna be somebody that's here for a long time. I don't see any horns on her yet, so not sure. She'll have horns, but not sure exactly what they'll look like. But in a couple years, we've got a little miniature Highland bull named Curly. If you haven't seen him, he's been on a lot of our other videos, and he's almost a year old, and he's adorable. And in a couple years, Royal and Curly will hopefully have some more miniature babies. What do you think, Bert? The other thing we did is Tricky and the Donkey's pen was right here, and we extended that so they had more room to run. We let these guys out every evening, and they're essentially out in our yard all night long. And eating grass in our yard. So we keep them during the day in here, and we also have our store open and the gates open, so we don't want them to run down the driveway. But it's been a really good routine. And most mornings now, Tricky and the donkeys are waiting over here at their pen to go back in. Even the gates open, they want me to bring them a little feed, and we'll bring them in there and feed them, and they walk right back in. So it's a really good routine, and seems to work out well for us and them. All right, guys, enjoy your treats. Back over here with the bison. It's been a few videos since we've seen them. We got Phyllis here, rest of the herd's right around. We've got Catherine in the pond, named after my grandma Belto. All right, so this area where they're at now is the field that we just completed recently in the last few weeks. Let me get up here on the fence line. So you can see the store over there. Right over here is where I just was with Darth and Doris. We've got all this fence line done, the fence along the back where our neighbor is, other neighbor fence line, and then all around the house. So just on the other side of these trees, if you watch the last video where we got a lot of the to-do list done, that's where I put some freestanding panels. So the bison are only in these few acres right here right now, letting where they were before recover. So they'll be here, like I said, for quite a while. Let that grass grow. So I fed them a bale of hay, which you may have seen here on the other side of the pond. They've got some protein, but they're doing really well. They've still got some decent grass on the other side of this pond right now, so they haven't really started on the hay bale too much yet. But we'll probably have to feed them a couple bales of hay before the grass, we got to get some rain, before the grass on the other side of the house grows, let it regrow, and get them a good stand in there going into winter before we have to start feeding them hay full time. So something I don't love to do. The last few years, because of the droughts we've had, I've had to do. This year wasn't as bad, but now it's gotten dry here the last month, and it's still going to be a few weeks before we're supposed to get rain again. We probably haven't even gotten, in the last 5 weeks, haven't even gotten a ½ inch of rain. So our pond has dropped 4 or 5 feet. It's getting dry out here. But the bison are doing well. Some of the next things with them, we don't have our bison corral up yet. I'm not going to run them through the freestanding panel corral that we're going to use for the cattle. I just don't want to put them in a spot that one of us could get hurt, one of them could get hurt or get out. So what we're going to do with them, I have a dart gun here in the next few weeks. We finally got a dart gun in, ordered it over a year ago. And it feels like that industry's finally caught up a little bit. So we are going to dart them. We have 2 different types of dewormers, and we're gonna have to shoot each of them twice. So I'll definitely have to have Jenna or Lefty or maybe even our daughter Sawyer out here helping. But we're gonna dart each of them with 2 different types of dewormers and get them ready for winter coming up. Well, here's our baby Big Red. Well, he's not Big Red anymore. The last couple weeks, he's really started to change. He's gonna be a little brown now. You can tell he's got a lot of brown on him. He's still got a few red spots, but it's just something that bison calves do when they're first born. They are bright red. That's where they get the name Red Dogs. His name comes from that, Big Red, and also after the Chiefs head football coach, Andy Reid. But as they get older, he is almost 4 months old now. It's about this time, 3 months, 3.5 months, their coat starts turning, and they're no longer red. They start turning brown like the rest of the herd, and they lose that Red Dog status. But he is growing really nice. He's done really well. He's actually starting to come up to us. His mom, Ashley, who when she first had him was super protective and is not something you did not want to be around, try to be close to him with her around because she was coming at you. But now she'll come up, let us pet her. Of course, I'm not going in there with her, with the baby still. Wouldn't do that, but she has calmed down so much since the last couple months after he's gotten a bit older and able to take care of himself a little bit. But you can also see his little nub starting to come up. He's starting to get his horns on him. There's a good picture of it. So he's growing. He's not a little itty bitty baby anymore. All right, who's hungry? You know Ashley and Phyllis are. Still feeding them same thing. We've been feeding them for a long time. They get some cattle cubes every once in a while, but these alfalfa squares are great. A lot of protein in them. Of course, it's grass, and they seem to eat it really well. They sometimes have trouble eating the, maybe it's because they haven't had a bunch of them, but the cattle cubes, they just don't like them nearly as much as they do the alfalfa squares, which is kind of odd because the cattle, when I go out and feed the cattle, they love the cubes and they won't eat these squares nearly as well as the bison will. So not much of a difference, but just a little bit of difference between the 2 of them. Phyllis, you're running everybody off. Again, if you haven't followed many bison channels or just following us, that's a great example. Good timing, Ashley. Bison, there's very much a hierarchy. So the 2 boss cows are Phyllis and Ashley right here. It was Phyllis for a long time. Ashley started, I guess she's made her stake, and Phyllis doesn't run her off anymore. And then, of course, the big guy, Chief back here, the 3 of them, especially when Chief is up here, they don't let the other ones around. So if I'm going to feed the other ones, I either have to have somebody else with me, and we'll have really 2 groups that are coming up eating. Or like I just did, I have to throw the squares around for the others to get. See Robin and Catherine over here. Coming up to eat. Phyllis is checking in on them. She will run them off very quickly if they're eating food she can get to. It's just the hierarchy that bison are. The cattle, on the other hand, I'll pour cubes out, they'll all line up and eat, and they're not running each other off. Nothing like the bison do. You want another one, girl? There you go. There's the big guy. That didn't take too long. Ooh. So here's one that I haven't fed out of my hand yet. This is Elise. I think she's our prettiest bison. She's definitely our darkest. She's almost full black. And she's got a really good temperament. I just haven't been able to feed her out of my hand yet. She is absolutely beautiful though. All right, boss man, you hungry? all those cockleburrs in here. All those cockleburrs in his hair. And he won't let me reach out and grab them. I know, I'm sorry. Oh. What's wrong, bud? You know I'm talking about you, huh? He has been busy. It's breeding season right now, and we haven't caught any of it on film yet, but he has been active. From the ones we have here, we should have at least 4 babies, hopefully 6 next year if you've done your job. So we're very excited about that. And then the following year we should have at least 10 more. You been busy? All right. Well, thanks for following along today. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like we said earlier, please give us that thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. We greatly, greatly appreciate that. The cows are looking good. The bison are looking good. Doris is a pain in the butt, but her and Darth and Royal are in a new pen, so things are going well. We're starting to get some things done around here and feel like we're able to take next steps. Feels like it's a really slow process for us and a lot of work's been put into it, but it's kind of the way farming goes. We just have to keep the bigger picture in mind. We've been doing this for long enough now that we can see the end, but it's still a ways off, and we just got to take baby steps to get there. So hope all of you stay well, and we'll see you back here real soon.